Hey there future self, what is up? It is past Holly here. It hasn't been exactly quite a week since I've been here, but it's Saturday and I got right turned Monday. And I have some time to make this video now. I decided to talk to you about my first 5 to 6 days here in Prague. A lot of things have happened this past week. We visited a castle, we went to a garden, we saw some goats, we went to a brewery, we celebrated my birthday, we saw a peacock or 2 or 3. I've eaten out like every single day, but it hasn't really costed me that much. And half the time the program paid for it, so you know, not gonna refuse that. And I started my internship at this place where I will be doing video and photography work for a advertising agency, because that's what they are. I arrived in Prague, I explored town, we walked down these streets, we saw this castle, we saw a bunch of other things that I can put here. So navigating the airport was not nearly as terrifying as I thought it would be. I was able to get through it. I had a layover in Amsterdam, but somehow the signs were all in English and I knew where I was going, and it was actually pretty straightforward and pretty easy. So I must not fly that often, because one observation that I definitely had was that the flight attendants, they're very smiley, like they smile all of the time and they have such a great attitude, and it honestly does make me feel welcome, even though I know they're just being paid to do it, so you know, it's not that cool, I guess, if they're being paid. I thought it was interesting to be a flight attendant, so then I started looking at how to be a flight attendant. Not that I would want to be one, but I think it could be an interesting job. When I first arrived in Prague, that was when it got confusing, because I didn't know exactly where I was going or where I was meeting the program people that were supposed to take me to my dorm. So I kind of went to the baggage claim check area where I was supposed to get my baggage at. And then I just kind of walked out, and there was a lot of people out in the exit area holding up signs, and I kind of walked around, but none of them were really holding signs for me. So first I was kind of confused, but then I walked and they were just in the back at like a little booth table section, and they greeted me and they were all nice and whatever. They got me a taxi, and the taxi took me to my apartment where I am now currently at. It actually took about 20-25 minute drive from the airport to my apartment, and it's a pretty modern apartment. The bathroom floors are heated, which is the second time I've heard of heated floors in the past like 2 months. Literally I've never heard of heated bathroom floors before. I live in Prague 2 or Praha 2. I don't know how to say 2 in Czech. We have a balcony, which is quite nice. First night I slept extremely very well because I was knocked out and exhausted, and I probably only slept max of like an hour or 2 in the past day and a half. I fell asleep pretty well, and I woke up, you know, right when the sun came up before the alarm, and then we went off to orientation schedule. I don't know, we got talked about stuff. And then after the sitting down part of the orientation, they took us on a tour around Prague. It was like a speed tour, and I honestly don't even remember half of what they said, but what I do remember is that down in the old town, roads are thin and they are not straight, partly because back in the day when there was a war going on or something like that, you didn't want the roads to be straight because then somebody could shoot a gun and it would go straight down. So by making it curved, thin, narrow, you know, and going all around, it would be hard to shoot a gun at somebody, you know, because the roads are all there. The guy who invented contacts was Czech. Fun facts. There's a lot of history, a lot of tall buildings, some castles. Definitely different than any city in the United States. I don't obviously cities in the United States that go far back as cities here. There's a river. You don't really go swimming in the river, but there's a lot of boats and paddle boats on the river. It's been about 70 to 80 degrees, although today and yesterday was kind of 60 and rainy. But it's pretty much like the exact same temperature as Michigan generally. Some of my roommates are not from Michigan, and they're like, oh my gosh, it's 60 degrees, what the heck, I didn't think it'd be 60 degrees. And I would be like, bro, it was 101 in Michigan, and the next day it was 52. I'm not sure what it's like in the parts of the country where they're from, but you know, dramatic temperature differences is what Michigan is all about, right? The next day we went on a tour of this castle. That was actually my birthday. There was a garden on the outside. We saw a lot of peacocks. And inside the castle, there was lots of armor and armory, and there was lots of dead animals. I guess in his lifetime he killed a heck of a lot of animals. Then we saw some goats, we ate lunch, and went to a brewery. Kind of cool in general to see how the process was made. It gets really cold in certain areas, it smells really bad. We tasted these little seed things, I guess, that they make the beer from, and those seed things tasted okay. It was kind of sweet, kind of tastes like coffee, kind of tastes like Honey Nut Cheerios. And then we went to dinner at this Italian place, and I got pizza. And the pizza was only like $6, but it was like that big, and it lasted me like 2 meals. You can buy a frozen pizza in Michigan for like $4. Then the next day we started our internships. Although I did go to scout out my internship location the day before. We took the metro. The metro is kind of like the subway. It's underground. There's a couple stops. There's the ABC metro train thing. I take the C, and I mapped it out beforehand so I knew exactly where I was going because I did not have Wi-Fi. I downloaded this app called Maps.me. Pretty much you can use a map without using data or Wi-Fi because it's done by GPS. great invention, helped me a lot. I was with a friend, which was also helpful. When we first got off the metro, we went in the wrong direction. We were like, this is a sketchy part of town. So we completely turned around and went the completely other direction. We found my internship place, we went back. It's about a 5 to 10 minute metro ride there, and then another 10 to 15 minute walk to where I will be working at, which is kind of further than some of the other ones, especially since I have to take the metro, because walking, Google said it would take like over an hour. So I'm not about that life. Maybe one of these days will be about that life, but not today. And then the next day we started our internship and I went in and there's another girl working at my internship site with me. She's going through a different program. She just graduated college and she'll be doing social media for the agency. I'm interning at an advertising agency. I'll be doing video and photography work for them. And I think it should be a really interesting and unique experience. They kept on asking us, like, what do we want to get in leadership? What do we want to do? And it sounds like they're really willing to listen and work with us. It's a small company, but they work with pretty big brands. They kept on mentioning Budweiser. It's in a tech part of town. They kept on comparing it to the Sacramento Valley of Prague in terms of there's a lot of techy stuff around there. The Czech Republic Cannon big building is like right across from where I'll be working at. There's a lot of other techie vibe things going around there. There's also this cute little Mediterranean place with like falafel salad, which I want to try at some point. First day of the internship, we were given a little tour. It's a pretty small building and not a lot of people, and we were introduced to 12 of the people, but I don't remember like any other names, sorry. And then we took like an hour-long break, and then we came back, and then we had another hour to do whatever, because we were waiting for the CEO to come down, and the CEO came down and he talked to us. We just kind of left today. It was a short day because the guy who will actually be reporting to was not there on Thursday, so we did not get to meet him, but we'll probably meet him on Monday. And then Friday they told me to just take Friday off, so I did not show up on Friday. And I just kind of chilled around here, caught up on some Star Trek episodes, went for a walk around the town. We found a cute little bookstore. I like books in a different language. It's very interesting because, like, I'm only used to seeing English books, so seeing a book that I can't read, it's pretty cool because it's like, wow, look at all this story and adventure and mystery that I cannot understand. For some reason that really fascinates me. Then today I woke up, we went to this little cute breakfast place, but we had lunch there. At this breakfast and lunch place I had a really good vegetarian burrito. It was super good, I loved it so much. It was about $7. Food here is generally cheaper, but again, it's hard to tell exactly how much I'm spending. So as of right now, I am keeping all of my receipts. Water here does cost money. Water here is normally over $1. You can ask for tap water, and tap water is normally free, but if you don't specify and just say water, they'll give you kind of like bottled water, but it comes in glass. I guess I heard a lot that beer is generally cheaper here than water, and while that is kind of true at restaurants, I've learned that it's all in the same price range. It's not like that beer is like 10 cents and then water is like $1. No, beer might be like $1 and then water might be like $1.10, or beer might be $1.10 and water might be like $1.10. Like, it's all in the same range, really, which is cheaper than the United States. If people say they're ordering beer to save money, they're not really saving that much money. I have some money here to show you. So here's 500 of these Czech crowns. 200 crowns is about equal to $9. So I have some coins here with me. This is 50 crowns, which is about $2. This is 20 crowns, which is just under $1. $1 is about equal to 22 or 23 crowns. This is 5 crowns, 2 crowns, 1 crown. They're doing a lot of construction around Prague around this time of year. I guess probably because it's summer, that's when they do construction. But then also, there's some sort of birthday or big celebration coming up in a couple months. I'm gonna adjust you for a second here. They'll make sure that Prague looks good. So in a couple months when all the visitors come and all the tourists and when the fireworks all go off, Prague looks good. Also while in Prague, I have this metro slash bus slash train pass. I honestly don't know what it is all for. I just don't like to carry it whenever I go on the metro because they don't always ID you on the metro, but sometimes they might walk around and ID you on the metro. And you don't want to get caught without your metro pass because then it's like a huge fine. I have yet to need to show this to anybody, and I've ridden the metro more than once every single day while I'm in Prague. I'll be able to take the tram. It's like a bus on tracks, kind of like a train, but it's tram. Pretty much trams don't stop, and they said that people every semester get hit by the tram, and I don't really understand why or how that's still a thing, but the tram does not stop, and that's extremely important to know. I don't know, don't ask me. There are hills, and you can see a lot of buildings up and over along the hills, which is different than Michigan. Michigan's not extremely hilly, but Prague is pretty hilly. Fun fact, apparently, some of the castles here in Prague actually inspired Disney castles. And it literally feels like when you're in Disney. Like when I'm walking down the streets, it literally feels like Harry Potter world and Universal. That's not Disney. Tall buildings on either side and looking old and looking brick and, you know, colorful. Like literally, if there was a dragon at the top of a building breathing fire, I would completely accept it. They're pretty environmentally conscious around here, which I like. They do charge you money for plastic bags, so always bring your own bags to the food store. The main grocery store that I've gone to so far is called Tesco. It's kind of a mix between a Kroger and a gas station. That's what I would call it. There's a small Tesco and then there's a large Tesco. The small Tesco is literally like a minute walk away from where I'm living. I'm living kind of right downtown. To get to Old Town, which is, you know, where all the tourists are at, like a 5-minute walk. It's not that far at all. So I guess I'm living in a pretty good location. This building does not have AC, but you keep the doors open and it's fine. The doors do not have screens on them. I haven't seen a lot of mosquitoes, knock on wood, I'm not gonna see any. And we keep our doors open all the time, open at night. So who knows? There's some spiders around, but you know, no mosquitoes. I went to the mall the other day with some people. It's pretty modern. It looks like an American mall with a lot of American stores. In my experience, pretty much everyone here generally knows some English. I mean, English is kind of now required in the schools. I think they're starting at like 3rd grade or something like that, one of the flat buddies said. In my program, each room is kind of assigned a flat buddy. When I move rooms, there will be a flat buddy living in my apartment. But right now there's no flat buddy living in my apartment, but he lives downstairs in the floor below me. And so the flat buddy is kind of there because they're from Prague and they kind of know what Prague is like. I walked around Prague with a flat buddy who lives above me, with some of my friends who live above me. She showed us a lunch place and then she took us on the tram and we went down to the Old Town area where all the tourists are, and she showed us around Old Town area and she pointed out where she went to school and gave us some good advice and fun facts and tips about things to see and things to do, which is kind of nice. In our apartment, we have a bag for plastic, a bag for paper, and a bag for glass. I mean, I would say in general at the store, things are wrapped just as much in plastic here as it is in the United States. It's not that much better. I did get a pastry though at Tesco the other day. The pastry is not behind glass. You know, like how in the United States, you know, if you want to get like a donut or a pastry, you have to like open up this thing, you know, get it your thing, put it in the bag. In Tesco, it's just kind of laying out in front of you. Probably a very germ-prone area, but I wanted a pastry, so I got my bag, you know, and I chose one of them at like the bottom, like in the back on the bottom. So hopefully it did not get that much touched by people. Food here is pretty normal to America. I am in Europe, and obviously there's a lot of Americans in Europe in general. But the food, I haven't noticed any major food differences. 2 of my roommates are vegetarian, and they have had no problem really finding things to eat. Again, being vegetarian, you are a little bit more limited, but it's like, it's not impossible. I thought it'd be hard since I only eat chicken, but I've only eaten chicken and veggies my entire time here, and I'm doing okay. There's about 12 people total in my program, which is really not a lot. They're all very nice, sweet, and caring people. Overall, my first week in Prague has been pretty good. There's been ups and downs, but overall we're getting there. Hopefully this next week will settle more into a routine, because I still have 7 more weeks of this, so hopefully it'll be okay. Well, there is a lot to do in Prague, and I just want to explore it all. I really want to take my camera out and go take pictures. So thank you so much for watching Future Self. I honestly can't think of anything more else to say right now, even though there's probably so much more I could say and so much more I could talk about. Until next time, Future Self, have a good week.